Hi everybody, Lord Matchkiss, and we're going to play more Merfolk and Legacy. So yeah, Modern still trash fire, haven't banned Hogak just yet, but let's continue forward with Legacy. So, um, just real quick, we're going to try Mono Blue today. We're going to take the concept that we had from Simic, and we're going to play 12 Lords in Mono Blue. The way that we're going to do this is with Mirror Regery instead of Mistbinder, which it's a 3-drop, so the basic lands are going to be a little bit more important to ensure that we get to 3 mana for this. However, Regery's got some pretty sick synergy with Merfolk Trickster. You can also tap things down like Plague Engineer in combat, so you can get past the Death Touch or anything that's like really ridiculously scary, that might be threatening to block. So should help push through damage, keep beef up. Um, yeah, the other major changes here are that we have a bunch of basic islands in the deck. One of the reasons I want to try Mono Blue is Wasteland has really hurt the Simic deck. Previously, we had no problem with Wasteland whatsoever, but Simic tends to it struggles a little bit against it. So I want to see if just playing a deck that has 11 basic islands in is going to be enough. Because we're running more 3-drops in the deck, I'm playing an extra land, so we're still going to have the 4 Mutavaults, and we'll have 2 Waterlogged Groves, so we have like 6 spell lands, basically. But we're going to be on 21 lands for this. So hopefully that'll work out. Yeah, we're also not playing Silvergill in this list yet. We may try a Mono Blue like this, except putting Silvergill back in, but we'll see how this does first. We're going to play some Coral Helm Commanders, because he's also a Lord effect, but he works a lot better with basic islands, because then you have more mana to put into him. Other than that, yeah, everything else is mostly the same here. Venser's taking up the Echoing Truth slot in the main deck so we can make extra room in the sideboard. Since we don't have stuff like Clip Wings or the Return to Nature, we have a few other slots to put stuff in. I decided to go an extra Echoing Truth here, so we have 3 bounce effects. I'm going to put 2 Tidebinder Mage in here. It's going to be really good against stuff like Knight of the Reliquary and Dreadhorde Arcanist, hoping that's going to help us there. Phyrexian Revoker is great against decks like Storm, or any of the Wrenn and 6 decks, or you can name Wrenn and 6. There's a ton of targets for it. It's almost never irrelevant, so it's a great card to bring in. And basically, yeah, the rest is pretty standard, so I don't have too much else to say about this, but we're going to see how this does. Alright, so let's do it. I'm a little bit late to this today. It's already after 11 p.m. Alright, so I really want these matches to go and just fly through them. See if this list can handle what Legacy has to throw at us tonight. Alright, come on. I want to get paired up so I can get this done with. Normally these take like an hour and a half to, at least to do, and that means I'm probably not going to be done recording till almost 1 in the morning. Yeah, well, that's my fault for starting so late. That's fine. You guys aren't going to notice it, though, because you're just going to be watching whenever you have time. But I want to make sure that this gets done so that everybody has stuff to watch, because if I don't do it now, it's going to take... It'll be at least another day or 2, and I don't want that. Suck it up, do it now. Alright, on the draw. Okay. Alright, this is I mean, it's an okay hand. We have 3 mana to curve up to here, and we might even take Vial up, so that's fine. True Name is a very powerful card against a lot of decks, so I'm inclined to keep hands that have, like, True Name and Vial. These are the power cards of the deck. Ooh, we might be up against a red deck. Or I'm sorry, I meant like a burn deck. Not a lot of decks play basic mountain. So if it's burn, then this Trinium is going to be very good. Oh, that's not good. This means we're probably up against like Red Prison. Legion War Boss. That's fine, I guess. Alright, come on, what's going on? So, he mulled pretty far down. He only has one card left in hand. If he attacks with this Legion War Boss, we can Violin, Benthic, Biomancer, and adapt it. This is a deck where Tidebinder Mage out of the sideboard is also very strong, because it deals with Legion War Boss and Goblin Rabblemaster. Yeah. Alright. We definitely are going to try to tick this Vial up to 3 if given the chance. We'll wait till he attacks, and then we'll Violin, Biomancer, adapt it, and try to block War Boss. Ah, that's bad. Sure. Let's do this. Well, we're going to have to put True Name in first now. I think we're going to put Biomancer in and tick Vial up to 2 on the stack. I could take 2 from this right now, but this means next turn I'll just take like 5. That's fine. I want to kill this thing quickly. Let's put Biomancer in first, because we don't know if we're going to draw a 2-drop. Then we'll play True Name Nemesis, and then probably tick it up to 3 and just start jamming Regeries. Okay, that's fine. I think we're doing pretty good here. He can't really attack with Rabblemaster. We can afford to take some damage. I'm not going to block with this just yet. Because once we put Lords in play, it can just start chump blocking the tokens. So, actually, I think here, if I tick Vial up, what I could do is actually put Regery in play, cast Lord of Atlantis, untap Vial, put the other Regery in play, so I am going to tick it up here. We're going to use Vial to effectively make 6 mana this turn. And that should just be enough to, like, just kill our opponent. And that's going to be brutal, too. Oh, no, not that way. It's just attack for 10. I'm fine with just throwing any Lord in front of this Rabblemaster because they're ridiculously dead. Look at how much power we have on the board. I'm glad that, you know, people know that Fish is still alive and well. Well, Island Walk is not particularly necessary here, so I will block the Rabble Master with Lord of Atlantis. And that should be good enough, I think. Even if he wipes the board, like, we still have True Name Nemesis, and that's enough. Okay, Chrome Mox is not going to do anything, really. So for 4 mana, you could play like a Karn or anything. You're just dead no matter what you do, I think. Unless you play... No, even Ensnaring Bridge isn't good enough, because we have Venser, so... Okay. So True Name is still fine. That's fine. Fiery Confluence was not a big deal. He has no cards in hand. He's facing down True Name. We're attacking for at least 5 next turn. Maybe more. Yeah, Chalice and 1's fine. We have Cavernous Soul, so Chalice is pretty meaningless. Yeah, nope, that was it. Alright. Okay, well, this should be pretty good for us. Yeah, unlike before with Simic, Mono Blue I think has a much better matchup because we're not as dead to Blood Moon. That said, we do want Tidebinder Mage. I think we want Echoing Truth. Venser is okay. It can, yeah, we probably need that. Dismember's fine. Actually, Revoker's fine, and probably Force of Negation. Chalice of the Void is totally useless against this deck. Absolutely just pathetic. Benthic Biomancer is also not very good against this deck, I think, so I'm willing to cut some of them. It sucks that we cut our 1-mana spells, but I do think that we have to cut it here. Let's see. Everything else I think is okay. We have to cut one more card. Is there... I kind of like the Revoker because like a lot of their plan is to just play like a bunch of Planeswalkers, and this deals with that. It can also name Chrome Mox, which can cut them off mana if need be. Fencer, yeah, no, in case they play something like Bridge, we want it. I could cut 1 Mara Regery. Yeah, that might be okay. Either that or Coral Helm. One or the other is fine, I think. Flying... Well, Regery is kind of cool because he can, like, tap down. Well, they have chump blockers forever, though, so tapping things down is not that important. Yeah, well, he's not prepared, but guess what? We are prepared. So we got to figure out, alright, what do we want to cut here? I'm gonna guess that probably Coral Helm. They're more likely to try to stick Chalice in 2, and if we don't have Cavern or if there's a Blood Moon out, then we can't cast stuff. So I want to keep the mana curve diversified just a little bit. So yeah, they probably have stuff like Anger of the Gods in their sideboard. Maybe like Karn has Ensnaring Bridge. They're being a really good sport about this, so that's good. I love it when, no matter who wins or loses a match, as long as like everybody's having a good time, that's all that matters. Yeah, you know what? That's this hand I think is fine. Tidebinder is good, so we'll keep this. He seems like he's in good spirits and he might be interested in this, so you might want to watch this. I always like watching when I'm playing against other people that record stuff, so. Simian Spirit Guide, Trinisphere. Alright, that's card. Means we're not casting Aether Vial anytime soon. But it also means that keeping a hand that had like 4 lands in it was a very good plan. However, yeah, alright. So we're going to get hit with this for a turn. So we literally cannot cast a spell right now. So we're going to get hit for a bunch, but then Tidebinder Mage can hopefully tap this down and start eating the Goblin tokens. This is preparation. Yeah, you may as well attack, because you know I can't cast spells. Alright, here is where I can pay 3 mana for Tidebinder. So let's keep this Rabblemaster from eating our face. And he's going to have to throw a Goblin token into it, hoping he does not have removal for it. Alright, so we block. How do we want to do this? There is actually a possibility we want to attack with this next turn. So let's play Mutavault. And it's not going to be relevant now, but I guess either way, we may as well play Mara Regery, I'd say. I'll tap the island, I don't know, just in case for some reason, like, we get another Mana Source for some reason, like, it seems unlikely. I'm not going to attack just yet. I want him to have to throw away his Goblin tokens first. Alright, so now he can play another spell. Ooh, alright, that's rough. See, that's another good reason not to attack there. I think you do attack. Well, I mean, you don't have a choice. You have to attack here, so. The Braid was pretty good. That means this is going to get to untap. So we're going to have something to block this, because it's going to be attacking for a lot. I mean, if we draw a Dismember, that could also be fine. I'm sorry, opponent. I'm just apparently really good at magical cards. So here's what we'll do. We'll cast Tidebinder Mage. Yeah, we'll tap this for the colorless mana, then we can untap a land from this. Or I should say, yeah, you'll see this later, opponent, but yeah, this is how this shit goes. Yeah, so we want to untap that. Definitely keep this thing from hitting us in the face. Let's play Master the Pearl Trident. I mean, we could have also tapped the Trinisphere, but it doesn't really do anything right now. So we may as well just untap the Mutavault, I guess. I'll attack. Can eat 2 Goblin tokens and take 1. Well, he can actually cast spells at least, so. But this puts us on a very quick clock to end the game, so. Alright, well, I think that probably just, like, locks him out of the game here. Alright, so Mutavault, turn this into a creature. Yeah, I'd say that we, honestly, with, like, Tidebinders and having, like, the Dismembers, the extra forces in the sideboard, I think we have a pretty good match, and especially with all the basic islands. Yeah, we can take 2 here, that's fine. Yep. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'll show him what I have here. Yeah, this was just ridiculously in our favor. I think if he could have stuck the Chalice on 2, like, I mean, it turns off this, but we still were holding the Cavern the whole time, so it makes it kind of hard. Yeah, I think if he could have got an extra mana source to cast the Chandra early, then it could have been a lot harder for us to deal with. Because it took us some time to, like, get through his board state here, but him not being able to cast spells for a few turns really, really helped us. But these are the risks you take sometimes. You know, you have to exile those spirit guides, which he used 2 of them to get out, you know, the Trinisphere into Goblin Rabblemaster, which honestly a lot of times that will beat a lot of decks, but we're just playing a deck that just has a lot of really good tempo stuff in it, like Merfolk Trickster or, you know, the Tidebinders or even the Dismembers to get rid of this. And then we can just, like, deal with the tokens at our leisure. Like, taking 1 or 2 damage from these every turn is not that big a deal, so... Alright, well, good games, opponent, but I think that match was pretty decidedly in our favor, and we certainly proved it. I hope you enjoy watching the match if you come back to see it, so... That was fun. I enjoy the mono red decks. The mono red decks are always interesting because they get to play super fun cards in them. I like Trinisphere. I think that Trinisphere is a really cool Magic card, and especially if you have ways to abuse it, like tapping it. So, all right, let's do this. All right, on the draw for round 2. So this hand's okay. I think we're gonna keep this. Alright, let's find out how screwed we are. Alright, this looks like 4-color Delver, probably. Actually, no, this might be Reanimator. Yeah, this definitely could be Reanimator here, or they're just gonna Thought Seize us. Taking the Benthic Biomancer makes me think that it's not Reanimator. Because if it was, they'd probably want the Merfolk Trickster. So I'm leaning more towards Delver. Which if they go Arcanist, we can tap it down for a turn. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So what is playing Dryad Arbor and Underground Sea? That's very surprising. So options here. I'll play Cavern of Souls. I'll name Merfolk. Alright, pass. I am going to Trickster down this Dryad Arbor, though, because I don't want him to be able to use it to cast, like, Liliana or something this turn. Which he absolutely would have been able to do. Well, he's taking True Name Nemesis now, I guess. Yeah, because I have a feeling that's the card that's going to be almost impossible for him to beat. It's not bad either. Alright. Let's play Mutavault, because there's a good chance we attack with it next turn. Alright, let's put some life total in jeopardy. He's only got 4 cards. No ponders or anything. That's surprising. Alright, what are we doing here? Leovold. Okay, that's fine. Jeez. Alright, how do I want to do this? If I play Mara Reedry and attack into him, like, he has to block, and, like, that's probably fine for us. This is how we're going to win these games, though. We're just going to put a ton of power on the board and just, like, overpower the opponents. Like, you can trade Leovold with the Reejery, but he's still going to take, like, almost lethal damage, so... This is not good for him no matter what he does. He only has 3 cards in hand. Like, this is a very overwhelming board state. He could go to 4 and then just die next turn, or he could go to 8 and then still be facing down, like, a significant threat. Like, no matter... Yeah, like, his options are all terrible. And he obviously doesn't have, like, Fatal Push or anything, because he would have used it already if he did. Okay. Yep, save yourself the most life possible. Deal. So we still have lethal on board. And what we can use Reejery with True Name Nemesis to tap down any blocker he plays. And hopefully that's just going to do it. Reejery is really showing... What the fuck is this? Alright, yeah, Volrath Stronghold. That's fine. I think he's just dead, though. Merfolk. Alright, we'll just attack. This is 8 damage coming across, so what's your plan? Assassin's Trophy. Does that really do anything? Like, okay, so if I force this, I think it's worth it. We're just going to force it. Yeah, he's just dead. Because even if, like, he countered it, he'd still take 1 and then end up, like, you know... So he'd be at 7 and then take 4 damage, and so he's still facing lethal next turn, but he'd have no cards in hand, so that would have been fine. Alright, this is cool. So he's playing Thoughtseize in the deck. So Leovold, I'm not sure, like, how many 1-drops they play, so let me see. I'm not super familiar with what this deck list looks like, but it's like a Green Sun Zenith deck, I think. So Tidebinder Mage is going to be great, I think. If I can tap down a Dryad Arbor or something with it, that is fantastic. I'm just looking to see if I can find... Jeez. There's a lot of things this could be. I guess it would be under Bug Midrange, I think, is the closest one. Alright, let's see what it looks like. You might have Shardless Agent in the deck. Yeah, this looks about right. So they're also probably a Plague Engineer deck. Shocking. So Dismember seems necessary. Let's see, play like Jace the Mind Sculptor, probably. Hymn to Turok, that's not great. What do we not want against this deck? It's hard to say. Like, some of these lists don't play a lot of 1-drops in them. Like, their 1-drops are like Brainstorm, Fatal Push, Ponder, Thoughtseize. So Chalice is okay, but they also have Abrupt Decay and Assassin's Trophy, so maybe I don't necessarily believe in the power of Chalice here. Phyrexian Revoker might be okay, though. Yeah, and they're not going to... I don't think they're bringing in anything like Ensnaring Bridge, so I'm going to take Venser out. I want the Echoing Truth, though, just in case. can take out one Benthic Biomancer for it. Yeah, I think this is okay. Alright, I'm going to run it like this, and we'll see how it goes. This hand's okay. We'll keep. Force, Vial, Lords, that's all we want. They mulligan to 6, that's a good sign. Mulligan on the play versus us keeping 7 on the draw means we'll have a significant card advantage, so. Alright, what do you got? Alright, so no Thoughtseize, that's good. Alright, let's play Aether Vial. I will probably Violin Biomancer and attempt to adapt it. And I don't think I want to put the Lord in just right away. I'd rather wait to Vial it in. Okay, so you know what? They're playing Snow-Covered Forest. They also probably have Arkham's Astrolabe in their deck. So maybe Chalice might come back in. Possibly, if we see other 1-drops. They didn't show us enough cards to really help us know what kind of list they're playing. That's the problem with a lot of the 4-color decks. Like, it's hard to know what's good and what's not. So I'm guessing that... Why did they get a basic land here? That's interesting. Are they afraid of, like, back to basics, maybe? That's certainly possible. So I think I'm going to be Vialing in Biomancer. And we'll adapt it. We might discard an island or another Aether Vial. Ice Fang Coetal. Okay, that's fine. I'm not inclined to do this just yet. We have Master to give us Island Walk past it. They did us the favor of getting a basic island first, so yeah, it's fine. Attack. No, I'm not going to do this just because if he plays like a Liliana, I don't want to have to sacrifice a creature. Okay. Oh, we can't play Liliana. What am I thinking? No, but if he plays like Plague Engineer, then I would have to. And I don't want to run into that if I don't have to. Okay, good. So they let the trigger resolve. Ooh, brutal. Alright. How do I want to do this? I think I'm going to discard the Aether Vial because I want to play 5 lands, so at some point maybe I can hardcast Force of Will. I know it seems like an incredibly long-term plan, but I think that's probably the smart thing to do. Relying on the Vial too much is a recipe for disaster. So, Merfolk. Let's attack first. Technically, I don't need to play the land right now, but maybe this represents Force of Negation to them. So. Sure, Brainstorm. Okay, so if you're going to Assassin's Trophy this, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. I'll put a Lord in play, so he's not going to block it. He has 5 cards in hand. I'm going to hold up the True Name right now. I can tick Vial up to 3 if I really want to, but I just don't feel comfortable playing it right now because it just seems kind of vulnerable. Fuck. Well, he's going to take it now, so maybe I should have played it, but the problem is I don't want to play it and then have him play something like, fuck, what's it called? Dead of Winter, because he very easily could have Dead of Winter right now and just completely wipe my board, and I did not want to lose True Name to Dead of Winter. I feel like that's what's about to happen. No, Plague Engineer, alright. Yeah, that's almost as bad. Well, the good news is that we're not locked out of the game yet, so... And he cannot block the Benthic Biomancer. No. That's actually fantastic. We can vial that in and level it up right now. And that's good because that gives us another +1/+1 Lord. Keeps us out of... In case they play another Engineer next turn, now we're not dead to it. And now they're also we're threatening to deal them a lot of damage next turn, because we can attack for 7 and then potentially lethal if we play a Lord. Yeah, see, and now this is protecting our board from Engineer at the moment. Like, this doesn't really do anything to us. Yeah, they can't attack here. I mean, actually, they could have attacked with Engineer. We might have been willing to... We might not have blocked that, so... Nope. Oh, that's brutal for them. Alright, let's play another island. Alright, let's attack. Attack for 7. It has Island Walk, and we can hardcast Force of Will if need be. We would have had lethal in play if they had not killed the other Lord, so that was worth noting. But look, Coralhelm is doing some fucking work right now. Okay, well that's our match. So yeah, I guess he's playing like a Sultai Snow deck. And we just pasted that. 2 in a row, alright. Mono Blue looking pretty swell right now, and we don't have Silvergill Adept here, we're all about that power life. Let's keep this gravy train rolling. We're through 2 matches already, and it's been about a little over a half hour. So we're about on schedule. At least they're going reasonably quick. They're not like long, drawn-out games or anything, so that's nice. Really don't want to have to do that today. Just get some quick, easy, put a bunch of beef in the Lord, make things unblockable, kill them kind of wins. And honestly, like, not playing the True Name Nemesis really ended up being a key for us there. Because if we had played the True Name Nemesis and he thought seized us, he could have took our Force of Will. And that maybe that changed like how we would play afterwards if we knew that we weren't safe to like go all in. Because then if we make that attack with Lord, but we don't have a counterspell, like, we just absolutely lose to any removal spell, and he has 2 in his hand. I mean, he didn't have one, but we also didn't know he didn't have one, so it might not have been safe to make that attack if we didn't have the Force as backup. So them taking the True Name with Thoughtseize, and also, like, you know, losing the 2 life for it, it wasn't irrelevant. I think it did affect it affected the way we played a little bit, and in the end, I think that was fine. It also, like I said, it helped us. You know, we were playing around stuff like Dead of Winter, which would just be a one-sided board wipe against us. So I don't think it was wrong to not play it there. It was fine. Yeah, I like how we navigated that match. Tidebinder is also relevant against the Icefang guy, which is cool. We're on the draw for a 3rd time. This is not a great hand, but I think that it's good enough that I'm going to keep it. We'll just lead out with Basic Island, I think. And then we have Trickster for turn 2 if we want, and then turn 3 we can play like Mutavault and a Lord. Turn 4 we can just play another Lord and attack for a lot. This is not terrible. I think we've kept far worse hands than this, so Yeah, I'll keep. You know what? Just in case they like Thoughtseizes, I'm not gonna like keep this. Like I want to keep this just in some random order. I don't know. How does the client like show your opponent your hand if you get Thoughtseize? Does it show like in this order? I'm kind of curious about that. All right, so we're up against Reanimator, so this is probably not a good hand. On the other hand, we have Cavernous Souls, which kind of helps a little bit, but nothing we can do on turn 1. If we draw Force of Will and they don't go off this turn, then we're still alive, theoretically. But I gotta be honest, our odds are not great here. I think after sideboarding, though, we're in a pretty good spot. We have a ton of cards to bring in, and overall, I think Reanimator is a decent matchup for us, because we've got a lot of nice interactive cards. So I guess right now what he's debating is, does he maybe like unmask himself and just try to like discard this thing? Or Thoughtseize himself, maybe? Could also be looking at something like Faithless Looting and then trying to figure out like if he needs to draw something. Alright, Entomb. Alright. So I think if we draw Force, we might be okay. It's a big if. Gristlebrand's not great. That's definitely not the one. If they just reanimate Gristlebrand this turn, I think I just concede here. I will draw a card to see what happens, but it's very, very unlikely that we can come back. I don't want to play any of these cards and tip them off as to what we're on. They don't actually know, but I think that if they can get Gristlebrand in play this turn, we lose. Sure. At 11. I don't know, like, this is really close. So what happens here? Do they go to 4 against an unknown deck? He's gonna do it. Alright, let's see what they discard. Yep. I think here now, if he unmasks me, I probably just or Thoughtseize, I just concede and don't show him when I'm on. But if he doesn't have a way to put another creature in play, like... I don't know. It's hard. I don't know if I want to play these things or not. Because he's definitely going to discard Chancellor. Like that, and probably another creature. Yeah. Okay, so here's our problem. We have to play Merfolk Trickster and tap this down. But that only works for like a turn because I'm sure that they have another way to reanimate something. So right now what we're weighing is like they're gonna get another Chancellor in play, like for sure, and then they'll untap with this the following turn. Yeah, they don't have to get an island, I don't think. I think, honestly, like, I don't believe that we're going to come back against it. I think I'd rather them just not know what we're on, because I don't think that we can beat the Chancellor. And with them having drawn 7 cards, there's, like, no way they did not draw a fucking Reanimate. So, I would rather just them be left in the dark. And I want to just bring in a bunch of hate cards that... I mean, they have, no, like... They don't know what deck we're playing, which is nice. Okay, so Regery, you are way too slow. What's your name? You are way too slow. And Coral Helm is also probably too... maybe not. Maybe Coral Helm's okay. don't really have much else I want to side out, though. We have 21 creatures right now. Actually, we can side out one land, I think. This might be too much, actually. But we can name Gristlebrand with it. It's not irrelevant. But I mean, them just attacking for 7 in the air is probably enough anyway. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say maybe no to Revoker. We did bring in Caracas when we took out a bunch of 3-drops, so I think we're safe to take out one land. I'm going to take out an island, I think. And then one Benthic Biomancer. Actually, I could... I don't know. I don't want to take out too many non-creatures. I can actually take out one Aether Vial, maybe. So if I'm going to play Chalice on one, and like that, subsequent vials become pretty bad. Alright, we'll try it like this. I want to keep like the 20 creatures in here. I think if we had drawn like a Force of Will, then I would have kept playing, because then we could have tapped down Gristlebrand and then forced the Reanimate spell on the Elishnorn. So I don't know. There would have been a chance or a reason to keep playing, but Force was probably the only thing we could have drawn that kept us in that game from that point. Because then, if our draws are like Force into like another Merfolk Trickster, I think we have a chance. But otherwise, like, it seems just like it's too much of a long shot. I'd rather have the element of surprise than like a 0.1% chance to win. I would love to play first. This hand is fucking fantastic. We're going to keep it. Venser is very good if we can get to 4 mana. So they have to like mulligan to a hand that has like Thoughtseize for us and a way that can reanimate something. And if they don't do it quickly enough, then like Venser just threatens to bounce whatever they put into play anyway. Okay. Pass. He didn't have any. There's no Chancellor involved, so Surgical might just be a win. But I mean, they have to get rid of this before they can attempt to do anything. If they just go for it, Surgical is going to nail them to the cross. So let's hope that Surgical is going to win it for us. Yep. Sure. He might not have any lands. I'll just be hoping that Faithless Looting is going to find him lands. So, does not have a creature to put in the graveyard. That's a good sign. Discarded another Faithless Looting. So, what else does he have in his hand? It's got to be like another Looting or like an Entomb or something. So he might be evaluating if he should like Entomb or maybe try to like Unmask or Thoughtseize first. Okay, this looks like probably Entomb in my end step. Okay, well, this is where we play Master of the Pearl Trident. So we have a clock on the board. Yep. Okay, so you're gonna do it. So I mean, no matter what they do, like they can't animate at instant speed, so We're always threatening to just surgical anything that they put in the graveyard. I mean, he's got a few turns, though. Our clock is not terribly fast right now. We might get to a point where, like, yeah, Venser can be very strong just bouncing a spell back to his hand, or even... Yeah, I don't think you can do much. Oh, well, that's fantastic, because that means that the surgical is even better. Now we can, like, force a will, a Thoughtseize, and still have surgical up. So... The only thing I could draw right now would be Benthic Biomancer, which I wouldn't want to play, I think, anyway, because I'd rather pitch Biomancer to force the will. Anything else, I'm not super concerned about playing this turn. So I'll just wait till his end step to crack the Waterlogged Grove. Or if he does something, then I might crack it. So if I draw, like, another Lord, that would be good. Okay. Just trying to play around surgical as much as possible, I guess. Sure. Okay. Whatever you entomb for, I am 100% gonna surgical. He might just be saying, fuck it, it's go time, so... I'm interested what card it is that you put in your graveyard here. Like, did you think to bring in Elishnorn, for instance? Or did you think to bring in Iona? Those cards are usually pretty good against us. Yeah, I don't know. We don't really have a good answer to the Iona, so... I'm just kind of hoping that doesn't happen. I'd rather not use the surgical if it's not necessary, but I will use it if he, is threatening to reanimate a creature. I mean, I assume that he thinks that we have this in our hand, but he doesn't actually know for a fact that it's in our 75, so if it is possible to play without exposing it, I might try to do so, but I think that the odds are going to be that we're going to have to. Iona. So he did put Iona in the graveyard, so now I'm going to 100% surgical Iona. Dark Ritual and Pyroblast. So he can counter the Force of Will. That's good to know. Alright, and what's the rest of his deck look like? Shenanigans, yeah, that's fine, because he's have an answer for Grafdigger's Cage. He did bring in Elishnorn, okay. That's good to know. 4 Gristlebrand, so he doesn't, nothing terribly split. He doesn't have Tidespout Tyrant as far as I can see. Just 1 Wear and Tear, I guess, is a safety. Yeah, 1 Wear and Tear, 1 Shenanigans, that's pretty safe. Okay. So Dark Ritual, Pyroblast. Yeah, let's not forget to exile that one. So he could Pyroblast our Master of the Pearl Trident if he wants. Alright, so here I'm going to sacrifice Grove to draw a card. Let's attack first. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to play Chalice in 1, and he's going to have to Pyroblast the Lord in response. Which I will let him do. Because it means that... Okay, well that was a mistake. He absolutely should have used the Pyroblast. Because now it's too late. Now the Chalice is going to keep him from casting anything from his hand. He should have killed this in response to Chalice, but did not for whatever reason. Now I think he's in a world of shit. Oh, yeah, and we're just, like, dunking on him so hard. So he's going to go to 12, and then 3 turns after that, he's dead. He doesn't really, like, there's nothing he can really do at this point either. He's just drawing dead. Just increase our clock. Sure, we'll bounce Badlands back to his hand. I mean, I guess if seeing Basic Islands, like, if that's the only card you saw, then Pyroblast was a reasonable get. But, yeah, no, he's in trouble here, so we can hard cast either Force. So I will use the Force of Will first. Well, we can't cast the Relic, but okay, so here I will just attack for 6. So he's dead next turn. We have a Force for literally anything that he can do. Or no, we attack for 7, right, because Lord, duh. But yeah, so he's dead to, like, anything. It doesn't matter. He's done. He wants to Thoughtseize me, huh? Okay. Whatever. I mean, you could have just looked at my hand to see what I had, but no, I don't think it mattered there. So Elishnorn and Iona. No, there's nothing we can particularly do about that. If he's gonna bring in Iona, Vial might be a little bit more important. Relic is probably slow on the draw. You know what? I'll take out a Biomancer, I think. The Vial is important just because if we can Vial in Trickster, we could turn off Iona and then potentially, like, cast Venser to bounce it, or Echoing Truth. It does let us cast spells for a turn, which is nice. I don't think it makes a huge difference either way. Karakas is also a pretty sick get. Other than that, I don't think we really change much. Like, I could cut another Biomancer, but I need some number of things I can do on turn 1, because he does have Chancellor of the Annex, and one of the things that lets me do stuff is Cavern of Souls, Benthic Biomancer, which ignores it, but I think that this is just going to have to be good enough. I don't know, he targeted himself with Unmask, and then just... I guess he probably should have targeted me because he was going to lose anyway, but it didn't matter. This hand is fine. Like, it's not amazing, but we can put, you know, Grove and Mutavault out. Hopefully get, you know, Relic into play, then Chalice in 1. I mean, the other option is play Chalice in 0 and eat an Iona, and then just put Relic in, or not eat Chancellor effect, and then put Relic in, and hopefully Relic is enough to slow them down. He's mulligan to 6, so that's good. These are not irrelevant cards. We do need to draw a second blue mana for Coral Helm, but also Vial is an option. We could go turn 1. Well, I think we're going to play Relic first, though. I don't know if we're going to have a chance to play Vial this game, to be honest. The only way I'm going to play Vial first is if he plays, like, Chancellor, or if he reveals a Chancellor, I will Chalice for 0, probably put the Vial out, and then turn 2, try to put Relic out and be able to crack it right away. Assuming, because I assume if he's going to have a fetch in his graveyard, then 1 Relic activation's not worth much. Otherwise, like, Vial's probably the card that we're just going to ignore, because it's either going to be we're going to either go Relic, Chalice in 1, ignore Vial, or we're going to go Chalice in 0, Vial, and then Relic in turn 2. So we'll find out what fate has in store for us. He's got an interesting choice here. He's got to figure out how long does he have to go off. Alright, so he does have Chancellor, so it looks like we're going to go Chalice first. Let's hope that he's not going to have it by turn 2. Well, that's not a good sign. Alright, let's just hope that... That's bad. No creature, no creature, no creature, no creature. Come on. Please. This is going to be very difficult. If we draw a Force, then I'll play Chalice. 1-0, play Vial. Yeah, like a Force would be great. Just hoping he doesn't draw a creature to reanimate this turn. So let's see, what could we draw? Surgical or any Force would be great. So that's 8 cards that are fantastic off the top and stop us from dying in turn 2. Otherwise, well, he's debating about this for a while, so maybe he's probably missing one key component from his hand, either a reanimation spell or a creature to bin. So that's good news. It's not just like slam Gristlebrand into the graveyard, reanimate Gristlebrand. So I'm hoping that this is a sign of strength for us, or a sign of weakness on their part. Okay, so Chancellor's in the graveyard. Alright, so can you do something with Chancellor? We might be in trouble. If he can... Okay, so Entomb. Alright, so he only has 1 card in hand, so I'm hoping that it's not a reanimate. So we put Gristlebrand there. He might... Oh, please... No! Fuck! Oh my god. Alright, well... We're in deep shit now. He's at 4. That's bad. Okay. Yeah, that's mana sources. Like, he's gonna just play a bunch of 0 drops at this point. Alright. Well, he had it. There was nothing we could really do about it. Like, I think we just had to keep this. And now we're pretty much locked out of the game. Like, that's fine. They just had it in turn 1, and sometimes their deck does. So we weren't going to draw them in turn 2. Like, I'm not going to bother. There's no way that we can beat this. It's not going to happen. We cannot stop this from attacking us and him gaining 7 life, so we're dead in 2 turns. So Reanimator killed us. We needed something like, you know, Surgical there. But Surgical wouldn't have even saved us there. We would have needed, like, Force plus Surgical. Why don't we draw Forces against this deck? That's terrible. Relic is too slow against them, I guess, but on the draw you really feel Relic, but it is what it is. Oh well. Yeah, like at that point we were just mathematically dead because they're attacking for 12 and we cannot stop them the next turn and we can't really do anything the turn afterwards. Like the best hope that we have is we play like we draw like what, Cavern of Soul into Merfolk Trickster, and we weren't drawing it either. Yeah, we drew Relic instead, so there's no way to come back from that. We were 100% dead, so conceding didn't really matter. Alright, well, can't win them all. I mean, that's Reanimator. Sometimes they just have it in turn 1, and like he had it with a Chancellor, so my guess is that he kept a really risky hand, but like kind of drew into it with Faithless Looting and then was just trying to figure out how to go about executing it so that he didn't lose to like double Force or something. Well, I mean, he could play around, yeah, Chancellor helps him play around Force, but we'd have to have 2 0 mana interactions for that deck, and that's, yeah, just not enough. So, it is what it is. That deck's really fast. We have exactly 8 0 mana ways to interact with it, but we had none of them in our hand, and we would have needed 2 to beat that. Because we'd have to have like force to eat the Iona or the Chancellor trigger plus surgical extraction, or like double force to stop Gristlebrand from getting in play. It's unfortunate, so it is what it is. Alright, come on, I just want to get this over with. It's already like, it's been about an hour. Yeah, just over an hour. Alright, let's go. Bring it. Alright, round 4 in the draw. I'm on the play, finally. I'm so used to being on the draw. This is a very risky hand. We don't have double blue to cast like any of these cards, so I think here we do have to mulligan. This is better. We can keep this. And here, I'm going to put one Chalice in the bottom of the deck. I don't think we need to most of the time. Go Island, and then turn 2 we'll play Chalice, and then turn 3 we'll play Mara Regery, probably. Alright. So Ponder. Alright, so we're hoping... I mean, we don't want to see Daze. Daze would be terrible. Oh, okay, that's fantastic. That's really good for us. They have no counter magic in their hand. They just like are eating a Chalice, which means this Regery should be very strong. And if they Wasteland Mutavault, we can still play. We can use the Cavern to play Lord of Atlantis. This guy does not know. Okay, well he's fucking dead now. Fuck everything I said before. Daddy True Name is coming to town. This looks like a blue-red Delver deck, probably. Or, I mean, it could be like a Wrenn and 6 Delver, but... yeah, it does not know what Chalice does. What the fuck is your plan? Why are you casting that? Oh, shit. You know what? That's fine. I almost F6 through my turn. Alright, well, we're just going to play the other True Name Nemesis, because, why not? Okay, well, they conceded, so Chalice was, like, absolutely nut-crushing against them. So, if Chalice was nut-crushing against them, then that means they didn't have any counter magic, so it could be a Delver deck. It could also be a Sneak and Show deck that does play Volcanic Island and all those cantrips. I think the best way to hedge against that is probably Force of Negation and Venser. But what do we take out against them? It's probably Benthic Biomancer is not that great. And against either one of those decks, I think I'm fine with a Tidebinder Mage. Yeah, and then you know what? If this is Delver, though, we might want this. Like if they're like a Dreadhorde Arcanist deck, actually. So I think we could afford to take out like one Coralhelm Commander. I mean, it has flying and everything, but it's also very weak against Bolt. It's hard to say. I think this is a good hedge. So if they're like a Sneak and Show deck, we have the Vensers and the extra forces for it. If they're a Delver deck, the Tidebinders, and like the main deck is already very good. So I think this is a reasonable plan either way. And then, depending upon what we see, we might be taking out these Force of Negations for, like, bringing this back in, or, like, the Dismembers in. Or if it is, like, a Sneak and Show deck, then we'll probably bring Karakas and Revoker in and take out Tidebinder against them. So, this is how I'm hedging it. I think this is fine. So, come on, let's do this. This match is going to be quick, I think. Chalice is just going to nut crush them, hopefully. Even if they daze it, it costs them a ton of tempo to do that. With only one land in hand, I'm really loath to keep something like this. It does have a force, though, and if we're up against like a sneak and show deck, like, we do want the force. So we're going to draw 2 cards before, like, that's incredibly risky, because it would also have to be a blue source now. I don't think we can keep that. This is better. I guess we'll keep this, and we'll put 1 Waterlogged Grove in the bottom. Yeah, this is fine, because then we can still try to go for the Chalice in one plan. And then we also have the potential of force backup. Okay, so Underground Sea, Thoughtseize, that's fine. Thoughtseize me. So this looks like probably one of the 4-color Loam decks. Took Chalice of the Void. This also could be potentially a Storm deck. Okay, well, we just drew... They can't... If this is Ren and 6, they can't play it next turn, so I think that we're fine with just playing Cavern. Also, no, actually, we could play Mutavault because we might want to attack with it next turn. They know we have it, so I like this plan better. This gets in 2 damage. Sure. The more I look at this, the more this looks like maybe it's a Storm deck, because that's why they're super afraid of Chalice. But I mean, it is still possible it could be something like Grixis Delver. Maybe Grixis Control, but even that deck's not that afraid of this card. Well, they didn't play another land, so that's probably a good sign for us. We'll name Merfolk. So if it's Storm, we, especially against like Ad Nauseam Tendrils, you want to lower their life total as much as possible, so they don't have as much life to draw their cards from their deck. Oh, he might be just land fucked with he might not have any lands on top of his deck because he just looked with Brainstorm, so... Yeah, Brainstorm he was probably expecting he'd find like another fetch land or something with Brainstorm and just didn't find it and just like got stuck with it. Yeah, that's rough. So he's gonna have to discard, so... He's got a few turns, but not very many. Okay, so this is definitely Storm. So, watch the magic, boys. Okay, so we're gonna go first Mawaridgeri. Let's untap Island. Yes. And I could play Master of the Pearl Trident, but I think here I'm just going to play Chalice in 1 and hold up this. Yeah, so this looks like this is just a Storm deck, and like now that Chalice is out and we have Force backup, there's no fucking way they can come back from this. Sure. Like if they cast Burning Wish, we can counter it. So I don't know which version of Storm it is. It could be Tacet or it could be Ant. So I'm just being prepared either way, no matter what happens. He has a mana source, so he may as well play it before I play Chalice in 0. 7 cards in hand, he's going to have to discard it anyway, so there's no reason to hold it back. But I'm guessing his hand's got to be like real poor. That's beautiful. Okay. So what's going to happen here is that we're going to play Coralhelm Commander. And Coralhelm is going to look fucking super disgusting right now. So I can make these both 4s. I can make them both 5, but that's not really where I need to be. Yeah, I can only... I don't think I can quite kill him. So put him at 2 life, but I mean, there's a good chance he just concedes to this anyway. But now he's going to go to 4, and he's still facing down super lethal with Chalice, and he doesn't know about Force, but I mean, like, we have it, so just the Chalice alone might be enough. At 4 life, like, how do you come back from it with a Chalice on the board? Yeah, this time we're going to give Storm the business. I mean, we could have attacked for 8 with the Mutavault here, but I would rather just make this a Lord first, and we'll attack for 8 this way. Or actually, no, we would have attacked for 10. Yeah. You know what? That was a reason that maybe we should have played Master of the Pearl Trident. I forgot, because we could have attacked with the Mutavault. Would have only been... Would that have been for lethal? 8. No, you know what? Playing the Master was actually better. That was a mistake. I should have played Master first, because I totally forgot about the Mutavault being able to attack. We could play Master and then just... Okay, well, I'm not letting that happen. And I think now he's just dead. Yeah, blue did get a 4-drop for 2. Yeah. So Coral Helm Commander was fine, but I think what Master would have been better, actually. Mutavault would have been 5. Yeah, we would have attacked for 13. That should have been the play. So, yeah, that's my fault. I didn't think about the Mutavault, and that means... I mean, we still got there anyway, but that wasn't acceptable. That's terrible play. That's not excusable. Once again, though, I'm not really missing Silvergill Adept. I think that was still fine. Alright, well, we're on the draw, so let's finish this league out strong. We're 3-1 so far, and just we're at about the usual spot here. On the draw, this is not great. I think we mulligan, because one land is not where we want to be. This is better. We'll put a basic island in the bottom. This is effectively an extra card if we need it, but the rest of these cards are great. I'm totally down for this. Let's do it. Mox Diamond, okay, so discarding. Alright, so we're up against Turbo Depths, it looks like. That sucks. Actually, this might just be, this might be like the 4-color Delver deck. Or this also could be like 4-color Loam. Yeah, I don't really want to play Benthic Biomancer and have that just tick it down right now. They don't play a lot of 1-drops in their deck, but at the same time, I'm going to play Chalice and Zero just because this is probably also a Chalice deck. And I don't want them playing more Mox Diamonds. Biomancer is very bad while it's a 1-1, because Ren and Sex will just eat it. So we got to play Lord first, and then probably Coral Helm. Or actually, we could play Biomancer and adapt it right away. That's an option on turn 3. And we got to be careful because the Ren and Six can just eat the Waterlogged Grove with Wasteland. There's a lot of ways this can go wrong for us, though. I'm expecting to see something like Knight of the Reliquary. Sylvan Library, that's also bad. There is no way that we're, like, breaking this. This is tough. Alright, well. Alright, let's get Lord out. I mean, they still probably have stuff like Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay, so it's not like Lord is not immune to removal by any means necessary. And if they draw Plague Engineer, then we are just absolutely fucked, because Renin 6 and Plague Engineer will just ruin our lives. Now, we're not going to get Venser out, unfortunately, unless we draw another basic land. Because they can just Wasteland lock our non-basics now. I think this is a match where the mono blue is going to be a little bit better, but not by like a huge amount. Our power is a little bit slower, but it's more consistent. So we're less vulnerable to Wasteland, but it doesn't mean we're not vulnerable to it at all. Alright, so fetch. Please don't Plague Engineer me. Okay, no, that's fine. Only 5 cards. Yeah, that's got to be a good sign for us. The other option we have here is playing Coralhelm Commander and leveling it up right away, and then we can use Benthic Biomancer as force food. Or we could also potentially play it later. So one of the reasons we might want to play Coralhelm and play the Waterlog Grove now is if we draw another land next turn, we can get it to level 4. So let's attack first. So even if they Wasteland the Grove, then we could still draw land and level up Coralhelm to 4. Can't be countered, alright. Okay, do what we gotta do. Yep. Venser's also potential force food right now, just because it seems incredibly unlikely we're ever casting this against Wasteland, which they have in their hand at the moment, so they could just Wasteland this Grove at the moment. Oh, well, now we're fucked, because, that's really... This suggests to me that they probably have Dark Depths in their deck. Fucking Christ. That is getting countered for sure. And I'm gonna try to keep the Venser just because of potentially Dark Depths. That's also reasonable. We have to attack this thing, but I think we're also playing True Name Nemesis this turn. Because if we don't play True Name now, we may not get to in the future. Okay, so we're not out of this yet. Can theoretically kill this thing next turn. Or I could actually just start killing him. That's an option. So I could attack it for 6 with these. Wasteland, yeah, that's fine. No, not another... Oh, fuck. Green Sun Zenith for 4. Well, I can't do anything about it, so yeah, go for it. Whenever another creature you control dies... Yeah. Get an experience counter. Okay. That's fine, though, because this doesn't have flying, which means we can still get this up to 2-2, kill Renin 6 this turn. And then... So he doesn't have any other creatures that are dead, so... So let's see. Options are... I think I just need to kill it, though. Well, okay, so let me think about this. I might actually need to start racing him, too. Attack for 8, that puts him to 9. It doesn't kill him next turn. I'm not super concerned about this thing. If I draw a Lord, like, I might actually kill him, though. Alright, let's just try to kill our opponent. Hopefully they're going to be in trouble. Okay, where did the cards in their graveyard go to? Okay, they cast Green Sun Zenith for this. Did I miss something? Like, what happened to their graveyard? We definitely forced a will a thing. Where the hell did it go? Oh, it went back to his hand, that's why. Okay. I'm still fine with this plan, though, because it lets us draw a Lord and kill him. And that might just be enough. Okay. So let's see. He can make 2 5/3 elementals, right? I think we're fucked. Yeah, here's the problem. Like, if we attack him, he can wasteland his own Thespian stage, make 2 5/3 elemental tokens. I don't think we can realistically attack here. If we attack, we're dead. Yeah, because he'll attack for 5, so 15, 18, so we could block 5 of that, so we'd take 13 even if we only block one thing, so we're going to have to block at least 2 things. Alright. Okay, well, no attacks. He's definitely going to wasteland his own thing, so... We can block a token with the true name and, like, block over here. And then still be able to draw a Lord and win. Oh, but Ren and 6 can also kill this too. That's terrible. That really sucks. So I guess we're just gonna block here and here. I guess what, another True Name Nemesis maybe keeps us in the game, but it seems unlikely. The smart play, I think, for him is to attack with everything. I have to block these like this. I go to 3. He gains 2 life, so that's terrible. Means he's out of range of dying now. I don't have a choice, I have to block here. And now I don't think we can come back. That's too much. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if there's much we could have done about that. Now he's got to kill this thing. Yep, okay, so now our hope of winning is, like, gone. I think we had exactly 1 turn where if we drew a Lord, we would have been okay. No, we are just dead here. Alright, we lose. Damn, that's brutal. Yeah, it's a Tenny as a guy, or a thing, I guess. What do we need? Tidebinder Mage seems really good. Revoker seems fine. Relic seems really good. Chalice is absolutely garbage. Benthic Biomancer does not seem terribly good either. Echoing Truth is okay. And we could also bring in Surgical. Surgical is not the worst. If they are like a Punishing Fire deck, then this is good, but it looks like they might just be playing like a mostly black-green thing, so Dismember could also be reasonable. Actually, you probably do need Dismember. What else do we want to side out here? Actually, the rest of these cards look like they're pretty good to me. Maybe we don't... Yeah, this might be fine. We'll just try it, like... We can have one Venser. Like, do we need this, really? Like, actually, I don't know. I think it's more important to have Revoker and just name Brennan 6 with it. I'm getting the feeling that Merit Lodge is not that big a deal. Thespian Stage might just be for value. Ugh, I hate having to mulligan these kind of hands, but, like, this hand doesn't cast anything. This is fine, actually. Cavern is not necessary in this matchup at all. Alright, what are we doing? Okay, that's fine. I'll play Lord of Atlantis. Next turn we can play 2 Lords and attack for 4. It's pretty good. Oh, heck! I mean, French fries. Alright. The combination of Choke plus Wasteland is really gonna hurt. Alright, well, let's... I think we're gonna tick Vial up to 3, probably. Because we have to get this Regery in play. I don't know, like, I feel like we have to. But at the same time, we have way more 2-drops in our deck that are probably... Well, never mind, that plan goes out the window. Well, this island is now a Lotus Petal. Fucking Christ! That is insane! Why didn't I have this a turn ago? Fuck. No, this deck is just, like, designed to beat us. Fucking. It has, like, Choke, Toxic Deluge, and Abrupt Decay on before, like, turn 5? No, by turn 4. Like, in what universe are we supposed to defeat that? Like, I don't understand. What do we do? I guess Mara Regery is now Force of Will food. Maybe there's a maybe there's hope yet. Absolutely haram. If we draw an island, maybe that we can just play like Master of the Pearl Trident and kill him like that. Ancient Tomb is now effectively useless. That doesn't do anything either. He's gonna get to dig through his deck way faster than we can dig through ours, so... Yeah. I don't have a choice. I have to kill this because he's just going to get out of range. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. He's going to eat 2 creatures now, but, like, that thing is going to kill us otherwise. He only ate 1 creature. That's surprising. He left 1 in the graveyard. Maybe that means there's, like, Tarmogoyf in his deck. I would have thought he'd want to be at 4 life so he could use both the Tomb and the Peat Land in 1 turn. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright. I mean, come on, we have like 10 lands in our deck that can make mana. Sure. We're so fucked in this game. We are just gonna get, like, hilariously stomped here. This is not even close. Just, wow. Oh, God. Carnage Tyrant, like, yeah, that's a card that we can totally not deal with at all. Sick. Alright, let's play our Aether Vial. It's like the one card that we can play. That's perfect! Fucking Christ. That's just utterly amazing. Okay, well, so here's the deal. We have to play Relic or this just flips and kills us immediately in the upkeep. I got to do something, alright? This one Relic activation was the one thing I got to do this game, so, I want to just hold on to that. And I am dead. Good game, opponent. Alright, well, that was a thing. Alright, well, there was no chance in hell that we were going to beat that deck with any configuration of this list. Like, fucking hell, that was just a draw and a half. Reanimator was really close. You could make the argument that maybe we'd be better off if we had an extra Force of Will, or I'm sorry, a Force of Negation in the sideboard, which, that's reasonable. I mean, that's something we could replace, like, a Phyrexian Revoker with. Yeah, the Revoker could just be a 3rd Force, and I mean, Force is going to help against Reanimator, but I don't know, like, that matchup just really comes down to, like, if they draw the nuts, and if they draw the nuts, there's usually not a lot you can do. But on the other hand, like, if they don't have the nuts, then our deck is already pretty stacked against it. Like, once you get Chalice on 0 and or 1 out against Reanimator, like, they're in such a world of hurt. And you have stuff like Surgical and Force that also interact with them already. Trickster can slow them down, like, if you can sometimes steal wins like that, but I don't know, like, the Relics are a little bit slow against that match, but I do kind of want, like, you could also make an argument, if we're going to play 2 Tidebinders, then maybe we don't need 3 Relics, maybe that could be 3 Surgicals instead. The Relics are better against the Wrenn and 6 decks, but at the same time, Tidebinder is also usually pretty good against those decks too, so I mean, you run into the issue of overboarding sometimes, so that's a reasonable consideration. We might tweak our sideboard, because that's the second time now that we lost to Reanimator because we didn't have 0 mana spells, so maybe we just need more 0 mana spells in our deck, and that's just going to have to be how we do it. The only thing is I don't like bringing in stuff like, I don't like bringing in Force of Negation against the Wrenn and 6 decks, but I don't know, like, what other option do we have? We could sideboard we could, you know, cut, like, 1 relic for a surgical, cut Revoker from the sideboard, move Venser back to the board, and play like a Daze in the main deck. That's possible. I mean, that might be good too because it helps the Chalice stick. I don't know. There's options there. But honestly, I think this list performed pretty well. It's like, I don't think at any point I missed Silvergill Adept from this. And I know that that's crazy to say because Silvergill is usually pretty good, but honestly, I think Coralhelm was a fine card to play. It was really powerful, and we did run into Plague Engineer, and it was definitely a thing, so... nose itchy. But, so how we went for about an hour and 40 minutes. That's about normal. Maybe a little bit longer for how Legacy normally runs, but... So we did 3-1. That's not terrible. So what, we beat Storm, we lost to the Ren and 6 deck at the end, lost to Reanimator. What the hell were the other 2 decks that we played against and beat? Yeah, come on. The Sultai like Leovold deck, we beat that one, and what was the other one? Jeez, after like an hour or so of playing, it's just like really hard to remember. I'll end up seeing it once I go back and like add the timestamps to all the matches. I don't know, as soon as I stop recording too, I'm just gonna remember and be like, oh wow, that's so stupid. Like as much as I would love to sit here and just like try my best to remember what it is, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't really have the time to do it at the moment, and neither do you. I mean, you guys already know because you can just take the video back and just find out what it was. Not even that, you can just look in the description because I'm going to have all the decks listed there once I go back and check them. But, I don't know, 3-2 is fine. Like, one of them was very close, and one of them was just, like, hilariously just slaughtered. I do think Tidebinder Mange was a pretty good card in the sideboard, though. Like, I was liking that. And Mara Rejury was also surprisingly good in this deck, too, so... I did also consider bringing like Merfolk Sovereign because that makes creatures straight up unblockable regardless of Island Walk or not, so it serves a similar function to like True Name Nemesis where it lets you attack in with creatures and they just can't block it or do anything about it, while at the same time also being a lord. But I think Rejury's ability to just like tap down permanents and or like let us just dump our hands at a really good time like that was nothing. So there's also the possibility we could cut 1 island for 1 more Waterlogged Grove and strike a slightly better balance there. I don't know, like I think that choke is so much less prevalent than Wasteland is that it's hard to say whether 10 or 11 islands is better. I think maybe next time I'll just try 10 and 3 just for the sake of, screwing around, but we'll see. I'm not sure exactly what I might change in this list, but I'm thinking now I really don't feel the need to bring Silvergill back to it just yet. So we'll see how it goes. I'll think about how I want to tweak it for our next run on Sunday. I think that we could potentially make some of those a little bit more winnable, and yeah, other than that, like I'm pretty pleased with this. I think this is fine. So everybody, thank you for watching. That's all I got for now, and take it easy. I guess I will see you on Sunday, I believe. Yeah. I don't think there's anything disrupting our normal schedule for that. So, yeah. All right, later, everyone.